Sometimes you will need to replace part of a broken window sash, and that's the case that we have here. The bottom sash portion of the sash was rotted right off, so had this piece of wood machined, rabbet joint on each end, and then rabbeted out to receive the glass. Fairly simple. So I want to glue all these joints together. I'm using a tight bond wood glue, professional wood glue. I'm not endorsing this, I'm just mentioning it as a reference. One key to gluing up is to liberally coating all surface areas. I've seen home improvement shows glue up different products, and they just put a little bit on here or there, not making sure that the surface is completely coated. You have to make sure that the surface is completely coated for maximum bond. You get your bond with surface area. So you liberally apply all these surfaces, and then you clamp up a little square on just to make sure that they're somewhat square, close to square. It's not a perfect world. That's not bad. Okay, so I'm going to push this unit up into my angled jig, and that will tighten the top. And I'm going to secure it there with this 2x4, shove it up in, clamps it, and I'm going to screw it in place. Shove it up in again, tight as I can get it, reasonably. Okay, I'm clamped up pretty tight. One thing that you'll see here is that I'm on a fresh sheet of plywood, working on the same bench I was before. Put a fresh piece of scrap plywood there, set this up as a jig, get it glued up. I can take it away and put it someplace else, come back with another scrap piece of plywood and do my next window. Nice little trick I just kind of came up with today. Here's a close-up of my jig. Scrap plywood, shove my sash up into that angle, fasten the scraps to the plywood deck below, placed a 2x4 up against the bottom of the sash, forced it up in place, clamped it, glued it. I also added some screws too, decided to. I pre-drilled a hole so I don't split the wood. This is a rabbet joint of sorts. Horizontal piece coming through in here, and then here's a vertical piece. So I pre-drilled so I didn't split. And then I countersunk the head before I put the screw in to minimize the chance of splitting also. So that's an all-weather screw. And I did the same thing over here with a stainless steel screw, just using leftover screws that I have from job site. You don't want to use a sheetrock nail or it will rust. You do want to use a coated nail. And this wasn't closing up tightly, so I put a clamp up here to close it up tightly. And I also decided to pre-drill and put a screw here too. Belt and suspenders.